Hey, what's going on everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario, and wanted to make this video talking about this system because I haven't given this system a whole lot of attention on this channel, but it's a system from this console generation that I've personally enjoyed. In fact, I think it was the coolest system that we had out, which was, out of the PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U. And that is, of course, me talking about, let me get it right here, not the system itself, but the gamepad, this at least the Wii U. This will represent what I'm talking about. And in case you all haven't heard, the Wii U is going to be discontinued. I don't know the exact date, but I just know for sure by the end of this year, there will no longer be any Wii U's in production. And that's really disappointing because this system, I have really enjoyed this system. Some people thought I hated it or I was bashing it or something. I am critical of the system. There's a lot of things I can say they did wrong with it. However, there's also things that I really enjoyed about this console, and overall I've actually recommended this to people. I do think it has good games. I do think it is an interesting console, but there's just so many things that it didn't do right. And one of the main reasons why I really couldn't recommend it for everyone is because a lot of people on this channel, they were wanting me to recommend them either a Xbox One or a PS4 when it came to consoles. If you're looking for one of those two consoles, your eyes are not set on the Wii U. Even the Wii U will just probably not appeal to you. It appeals to that niche market. And I think the main problem that this system really had behind it was the naming on there. First off, Wii U. Horrible name. Absolutely horrendous. That name was just disgusting for this console. The Wii U. I understand what they were doing. The Wii, incredibly popular. It just sold through the roof. And Nintendo actually did a really good job pushing out units for that. I mean, I remember when it was selling like hotcakes, they were pushing out on a weekly basis at least 25 Wii units per store. However, it was so hot that those units would be gone within 1 or 2 hours tops. They wanted to capitalize on that success. So people would say and look and see, hey, the Wii U? That's like the Wii, but it failed because, first off, nobody really knew what the hell it was. Most people saw that it was this tablet-looking thing. So I have a lot of people who, you might laugh at this, but you watching, you're probably the minority who you're actually educated on the system here. A lot of people, the average consumers, they didn't know what the Wii U was, and when they found out about it, they thought that, and I, honest to God, had friends that believed this, they thought that this was the Wii U. It was this tablet controller that you go out and buy for a few $100, and then you sync it to your original Wii, and somehow you can then play games using this tablet controller, and you can also get Wii U exclusive games that look and play better than the Wii. So this is like a wireless expansion of sorts for it. People thought that's what it was. A lot of people didn't know the Wii U was a separate console because Nintendo did a horrific job trying to market it, if at all marketing it. I didn't really look into this as much, but I'd even been told that they marketed it at Pottery Barn, of all places. It also shows to me, really, that Nintendo didn't care too much about this console. At the beginning, they were trying to go in all guns blazing, and they were saying, we understand what the gamers want. Gamers have been telling us for years they want their Marios, they want their Zeldas, but they also want their Call of Duties, their Assassin's Creed, and at the beginning, they tried. I mean, it launched with the Batman Arkham, was it City game? I think it was Arkham City. Or no, it was the prequel. So it launched with the Batman game at the time. It launched with Assassin's Creed 3. It launched with Splinter Cell. And then you had, your other Nintendo games on there. But then it came down to the actual infrastructure of the system. First off, it wasn't really selling that well because people didn't really know what it was. This tablet controller was confusing companies because they didn't really know what to do with this. And then on top of it, like when it came down to it, it was an 8th generation system that was about as powerful, or it was more powerful than the 7th generation consoles. But they also did some weird stuff with architecture that, like, when you saw games, they just didn't play as well. Like, you could get games that played better on the 360 or the PS3 as compared to the Wii U. And they were probably less clunky as well, too, which, I don't know, there was just so many things there. They went with the CPU, they went with the PowerPC architecture on there. I don't know why, but they did. when it came to the RAM, they ended up splitting it so that it was 2 gigs of RAM, but one was reserved for the system stuff and the other was reserved for games. So if you were developing a game, you really only had 1 gig of RAM. I'm not a believer in you need the most powerful console to win the generation, but having at least some power there, you know, some more is going to be good. And I don't know how the Switch is going to be, the upcoming system. Another thing is that speaks volumes to this is that Nintendo is discontinuing this system several months before the Switch is released. That shows no confidence at all in this. Because Nintendo was really saying, hey, we want to just dedicate everything to the Switch, the 3DS line would have been discontinued. But you've seen there hasn't even been a revision of the Wii U, actually. There's been the 8 gig and the 32 gig, and that's about it. With the Wii, there was the Wii Mini. With the 3DS, we have what? The 2DS, 3DS, 3DS XL, new 3DS XL. We have 5 variants of that console. This one, no other variants on it, aside from 8 and 32 gigabyte systems. This system just did not get a lot of love from Nintendo, and it seemed like they really just dropped the ball out the gate, and then when they tried to give it some momentum and tried to market it properly, it was almost too late at that point. And the reason why, you know, I'm sounding kind of somber talking about the system is because, again, this is a cool system. I like the games that I see what they were doing with this controller. I thought it was neat, but one big thing I can say when I was playing this was there were a few times, you know, playing on my TV, it'd be great. It'd be, I actually have one of these right here. It'd be nice if, you know, I'm playing a game and I could just use a typical controller, like a, you know, stock controller and just play normally like so. But then, you know, let's say if someone wanted to use the TV, which this rarely happened because I've lived by myself for the most part. It was nice to, you know, take this around to your apartment or your house or take it off screen. There were several times like I'd be in bed and I was playing like Zelda on this or something. And the disappointing thing was there were a few times I was sitting there and I was like, you know, this is awesome. I'm pretty much getting a console experience in a handheld system right here. It would be so... Oh. This isn't a handheld system. Because you can make the thing powerful. Like, I've seen people do it. Like, people will have a battery available and a power converter in their backpack, and they'll put the Wii U console in there so they can be, like, playing their Wii U on a really long drive, or they can, you know, go to university and play in the classroom, whatever it is. I've seen people do that, but it's not practical, and it's a bit cumbersome as well, too. That's not what a portable console is going to be. So, it's neat seeing almost as if this thing had to take the bullet for the Switch. And if this thing dying had to result in the Switch's success, to show Nintendo this is not how you do a console, this is how you do a console, then I hope the Switch does well. I really do. Another thing that just shows no confidence from Nintendo on the system was, I don't have a 3DS. Actually, I do have a 3DS. Let me grab one of these as an example here. Just got consoles all over the place, I guess. This is a 3DS, right? For anyone that doesn't know, I've taken down these videos because of, I just don't want to get into the reasons. So I wanted to spell this, okay? I did several videos where I was doing mods for like flash carts and custom firmware and all that for the 3DS, and I took them down. Some people were trying to say, oh, Nintendo is coming after me. Nintendo was not coming after me. I was dealing with YouTube with copyright strikes, not with the community guidelines stuff. If it was Nintendo, it would have been a copyright strike. It would have said Nintendo. It could have been, but I can't confirm it. Either way, that's kind of off topic here. The 3DS has been a extraordinarily good, like, well-selling handheld. Granted, the Wii U has not done as good as the Wii, because the Wii, it was like Pokemon Go. Everyone bought it, everyone played it. It wasn't casual gamers, it wasn't hardcore gamers. Everyone was getting the Wii. Everyone. Same with the DS. It wasn't just hardcore gamers or casual gamers or people who preferred handhelds that were getting the DS. Everyone was getting the DS. When it came to this, it was a lot more niche, but I think with this at the beginning, it didn't sell very well, and then when Nintendo dropped the price and they threw in a bunch of games and actually made better software for it, then people started flocking to it. And they wanted to do that with the Wii U and unfortunately just didn't latch on. But point is, the reason why I'm kind of going back onto this, listen, the whole modding thing, I talked about it, it's coming back here. The 3DS, it has, you can do several mods to it. You can install custom firmware, all that other stuff. Right now, they are fully exploitable, but even to modify a 3DS right now, you have to have a system that is already completely modified with ARM9 loader hacks, and then you pretty much have to do a system I'm simplifying it majorly, but you have to pretty much do a system transfer over to a stock 3DS to modify that. So you have to have someone that's already gone through the effort and has access to that system in order to do it. Prior to that, though, you could normally downgrade the system. You could use a game to run an exploit or some, or use a browser exploit, and Nintendo's always quick to patch those exploits, or somewhat quick, at least. It's been about a year and a half, I would say, since there's been any new features added to the 3DS system software. However, there's been tons of updates, and every single one of them says that system stability is increased, which that's a lie. It's just they're saying, it's a nicer way of them saying we've patched up a few vulnerabilities that can let people modify their systems easily. So I just wanted to establish that, right? There's been multiple system updates this year alone. This system right here, the Wii U, the last system update, 5.5.1, came out in January of this year. By, I want to say, March or May of this year, the 5.5.1 kernel exploits came out. And at this point, that means ever since those exploits came out, you could go out for anywhere and get a Wii U, and no matter what firmware it's on, you can get a Wii U, hook it up to Nintendo's servers, update it, and you can modify your system right there. Nintendo hasn't done anything to patch it. There has not been a new update for this system. It is November right now, and there hasn't been a new update for this system since January. To me, that shows that they just don't care about it, kind of like the Wii. At the end, the Wii, you can get any Wii as long as it's on 4.3, the latest firmware. You can easily modify that system right there, because even in the end, really, Nintendo kind of stopped caring about it. So when they were, backing off it and everything, they didn't want to pool the resources towards patching the system. They're like, we're done. We're going to go on to the next system, which is going to be the Wii U, of course. And, of course, the 3DS, all that other fun stuff. But what I'm trying to say there is, again, that just shows the complete just lack of care that Nintendo has at that point. They're like, yeah, we're kind of done with this system. Just push out the last few games, we'll port them over, and any shovelware like Just Dance 2017, 2018, hell, we'll even give you 2019. You can put it on there. We're good. So if you follow the modding scene at all, I think it would be particularly evident that Nintendo just really, they're done with the system. Completely done. If you still don't believe that, they're not manufacturing it anymore. They're going to stop manufacturing it. And then even on top of that, the thing that always cracks me up is that Nintendo, historically, this will be my last part that I make about the system. Historically, Nintendo has never done a good job supporting their older consoles when a new thing comes out. Like, for example, the 3DS. When the 3DS came out, they dropped the DS line. When the Wii came out, they dropped the GameCube line. Now that the Switch isn't even out yet, they're dropping the Wii U line. And it's the same company that says every generation, oh, don't worry, we're going to support that. Like they said, we're dedicated to the 3DS, we're dedicated to the Wii U. The Wii U's, no longer supported, really, you can say. When it came to other systems as well, like the Wii especially, when they were saying the Wii was coming out, oh, don't worry, we're going to support the GameCube, completely dropped support on the GameCube. And even, the Wii U, like about a year or two into the life cycle of that, they said, hey, we're going to drop all the servers on the Wii's online service, so y'all better wrap that up real quick. They still haven't done that with the 3DS. As of right now, the 3DS is still officially supported. I think they're going to support that for a bit longer until they start forcing people to go over to the Switch. So I would expect sometime shortly after the Switch's release, we're going to see, a lack of updates and a lack of support for the 3DS. But the point is, if you're one of those people who you thought that the Wii U was going to get more and more support, and it was going to get some nice long-term support down the road, I'm sorry, but I got to drop a Titus laugh for you. Anyways, wrapping up this video right here, because I don't want to keep going in circles. I think the Wii U is a good system. Would I recommend getting one? If you see a good deal on one, and there's like a few games that you're interested in, I would recommend picking one up. It's an interesting console, it's an interesting concept, it has a good library, albeit it's not the best library, it's not the most extensive, but it has several games worth playing on there. If it's just not your thing, like you're not into the exclusives that are on there, I understand. I'm not forcing anyone to go out there and get one. But I'm saying, you know, now at this point, especially because they're probably going to be dropping in price, it wouldn't be a bad time to get one. Maybe even wait a little bit longer because they might drop in price even more, you know, months after this video is released. Anyways, if you own a Wii U, let me know what you think of it. If you never bought a Wii U but you're thinking of getting one or you just don't want one, you know, let me know your thoughts on the Wii U. I honestly think we can get a bit more of a unbiased opinion from someone who's owned it and experienced it. Sure, you're going to get your fanboys in there, but I know a lot of people really complain about the system, and I'm like, do you own it? No. I'm like, so how can you complain about it when you don't own it? I don't know, it's one of those things I would take someone's value... I would take someone's opinion at a higher value if they actually got the system, and hey, if they got it and they thought it was perfect, good on you. But I respect the people that also get a system and they realistically state that, hey, there is this problem, there's this issue right here. I respect that. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, you know, a like would be appreciated, and you can dislike it as well too if you wanted the Wii U to live on forever. And by the way, for anybody that might be asking if I'm going to sell the Wii U's, no, I'm not. I like the system. I'm also, it's weird because every time like a new system comes out or something, or one system gets dropped off, some people ask me, am I going to sell off my old system? No, I'm not. Like, why would I do that? I collect games, I collect game systems, and just because the Wii U is no longer supported doesn't mean that it's going to stop working. I don't know, man. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone.